What can I say? Well, first, let's start with thank you for clicking on my face. My name is Christian Shamar, and welcome to another episode of the Shamar Experience. Um, it's been a journey. I haven't uploaded on this channel in a while for good reason. On the last pod, you guys were very aware that I was in Florida for an internship. And with the change of scenery, you might be asking, why is that? It's very clear. And it's something that I wanted to reflect on now. Today is my last day in Florida. Well, technically I leave tomorrow, but today is my last full day. And as I sit here and I reflect, I wanted to make this pod a little bit different than what the other episodes have been. So no current events update, no talking about music, just strictly talking about what's been going on in my life since being here. This is the last time I talked to y'all. And truly, I just want to say thank you to Sarasota. Thank you to Florida. I want to say thank you to Sarasota. Thank you to Florida for doing two things for me. Those two things were fixing things in me I didn't know were a problem. Well, I did know, but I was scared to admit it. And that was my fear of missing out, FOMO, and my fear of being forgotten. For the longest time, I've had this fear of missing out when it comes to things and having to make sure I was at every single thing, every single event. Always having to be seen, always having to be somewhere. And I think it was because I felt like growing up in my life, I missed out on so much. Travel sports, for instance, was one thing. I always wanted to do travel baseball, travel basketball. My mom just couldn't afford it. I always wanted to be on sports teams, but I was never good enough until high school. Always wanted to go on trips and go to silly things like Disney World, Disneyland, and now that I'm in Florida, I didn't even go. Always wanted to have these memories and these trips and go to parties and stuff like that when I was younger. So then when I got older and I got old enough to do things, I did it to an excess. I did it to an upset. I did it to a crazy amount. Excess. There we go. That's the word. I did it to a crazy amount where I had to be at every party. I had to be at every event. I had to go on every single trip that was happening. Because I almost felt like I was trying to make up for lost time. I felt like I just had to be slow. And being away for 10 weeks from friends and family, besides the weekend I went home, literally a weekend from Thursday like night, and then got off the plane Thursday night and then got back on the plane Sunday afternoon, a literal weekend. What I had truly realized was that fear of missing out was so arbitrary. It was only in here, because reality is you can't be everywhere at once. You can't do everything, and seeing my friends and family and different people at all these events and things like that, it didn't make me sad this time around. It made me appreciative, because what I wasn't doing there, I was doing on my own. And the big thing I've been doing is reflecting on my life and my life choices and what I want my life to be moving forward. Reflecting on the things I decided to do in my life. And I'm so appreciative for the opportunity because not only did I gain experience for when I move into a career field, but also I gained experience in life. And I did something that I was so fearful to do, and that was take a risk. Take a risk and be vulnerable, like not having everything mapped out, not having everything planned out, not even knowing if it's gonna work or not. Never been to Florida a day in my life. Never had to sit for a layover, never had to drive through it, nothing. Never been on this side of the United States at all. And I took a whim and decided I'm gonna go live out. I'm gonna take this job opportunity and go live out there for the summer. And what I gained was a newfound appreciation for free will and for choice. The choice to do something and to make something of myself and to be appreciative and to make a decision for me, a decision that I wanted to do, not because I wanted to be in the crowd with everyone else, but because I genuinely wanted to know what it was like to experience something different. And in that time, but people were in Chicago and back home, and I'm saying in Chicago, back home, like it's not safe place. People were back home and going to different events and things like that, where at times, yeah, I did think like, man, I wish I was there. The amount of people that hit me up, wishing they were here where I'm at, was astounding because you realize it too. People had the same fear that you have, the fear of not being at something. And I would like to say that I don't really have that feeling anymore. Like, I don't feel the need to be at everything and be everywhere because I know where I should be is where I want to be. And that transitions into, sorry, I'm getting distracted because there's a whole bunch of cool cars. There's going to be a Porsche pass by. Yep. I love this location where I'm at. I'm right on the water too. What I realized is that fear of FOMO also fell into a fear of missing out, a fear of missing out. Of course, that's what it is, but a fear of not being seen, not being remembered for no reason, but strictly vainly, like thinking that if I didn't show my face somewhere, people would forget about me. And what I realized was that people were more excited to see me because they hadn't seen me in a while. Friends, family, and I guess I never really put two and two together because I've always been at school. So the past 5 years, this is going on my 6th year, I've been at school. So of course people haven't seen me. I've been away, but this time making the decision for myself to leave was something. And I realized that I will never be forgotten because I have people that love me and cherish me and remember me and who I am. And I'm so grateful, so appreciative to have people like that, in my life and in my circle, and you know, to care, to check in, to see how I'm doing, what I'm doing, ask, you know, just about me. And none of that wouldn't have happened if I didn't come to Florida, if I didn't come to Sarasota. And in this time and in this idea of life, I realized that it's time to mature and it's time to grow up, because adults can't be at everything. And it's foolish to think that you can be at everything, because only person I could be everywhere at once is God. Not even Superman can be everywhere at the same time. Speaking of, I need to go see that movie after I tested for it, but that's another tangent for a different day. So yeah, thank you to the Akui internship program. First off, thank you to my professor, Dr. Julie Brines, for even suggesting it. Thank you to Akui because it got me in contact, and it even opened up my mind to Sarasota, Florida. Never even heard of the place until I looked at it. Thank you to the Residence Life team at Ringling College of Art and Design, Ken, Aaron, Julia, Katie, Miss Celeste. Thank you to my co-intern, Celeste, different Celeste. Thank you to the summer RAs that I had. Thank you to Miss Tara, a wonderful lady that I met on the plane on my way here. So sorry, Miss Tara, that we never got a chance to meet up, but we will one day in the future. I promise. Promise we'll get a chance to meet one day in the future. And as I sit back and I reflect and I look at the sunset, the last person I want to thank is myself. Thank you, Christian, for taking the risk and doing something outside of your comfort zone. Thank you for being open to a new experience and not just relying on what always is, and that's being home. That's being with family and friends. Because eventually you will have to branch out. You can't live at home forever. You can't be around your friends forever. Eventually you will have to be your own man and make your own choices and have your own fun and make your own decisions, live your own life. And I think this is the start of it. There's no better time than the present. And in this moment in time, the most beautiful time we have is right now. So as I sit back and think, I need to go pack my bags and I need to get ready to go home because my time, just like the sunset, is coming to an end. Thank you, Florida. I'll never forget you. And thank you to you all for tuning in and listening. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to this page as well as my main page, christianshamar. That's certainly not least. Make sure you imagine your potential, turn it into your reality. And with that, I'm out. I'll show you all the sunset. So, yeah,